Hey everyone, it's Matt here. So I recorded this a few months ago and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. I was thinking maybe I'd make some sort of how-to build a PC, but then I realized I'm not a tech expert and there's tons of those videos out there. So if that's what you're looking for, this isn't the video for you. You will see it's actually pretty easy and somewhat forgiving if you make a few mistakes. Now, when I built my last PC 5 years ago, I built it right in the case and never checked if anything worked. I didn't see if it would post or not. And I ended up having a bad motherboard, which took hours to troubleshoot because I didn't have any parts to swap in and out, and I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. And when I finally realized it was the motherboard and got a new one, I had to take everything all apart anyway. So this is the reason why I'm building it on the box to see if it'll post. Everything worked totally fine this time, so now I feel like a pussy for not building it in the case like a fucking man and wasting all that time. So the system has an 8700K, and everywhere I read online said that they run pretty fucking hot. So I found this beautiful 280mm CPU cooler from NZXT, Kraken X62. It's fucking beautiful. Now, the Kraken itself came with kind of mixed reviews. The fact that it looked beautiful was the best one, and the fact that it randomly breaks after a few months was the worst one. So even though it had those bad reviews, it was so beautiful, I just bought it anyway. And I've been running it for a few months and have had no problems whatsoever. I even had a little oops. I forgot to plug the pump in. When I did get this thing to post, there's no water circulating through the cooler. I was only checking to see if it would post, so I turned it off right away anyway. But if I went to go take a shit or something like that, then it probably would have overheated and burned up the CPU, and it would have been a shitty ass day. I probably would have came up with some sort of kiss-ass excuse to Newegg saying like, "Oh my god, you sent me a burnt-ass CPU." But that shit never really works anyway. And I'm not even wearing an anti-static wristband, plus I'm building this on carpet. At least I am touching the ground on the power supply every minute or so just to keep myself from building up a charge. So here you can see me staring at the radiator like an idiot for a few moments because I couldn't get the thing to fit with the fans behind it, which is the way I wanted it, but that's right. I ended up flipping the fans around, it wasn't a big deal. There is some common sense required when you're building a PC because not all the parts are exactly compatible with each other. And speaking of common sense, this has got to be the worst camera angle for this. You can't see anything. I don't know what I was thinking, I wasn't really sure. I'm not a videographer, and I probably never will be, but check out the dope painting of the oasis in the background. So nice. So I ended up reusing the GPU out of my last PC, which is a 1080 FTW. I bought the thing a year and a half ago, and it's just still a good video card. There's no reason to get anything new. And with all this hype about NVIDIA's new RTX cards and stuff, and all the uncertainty, I'm probably going to keep the 1080 for a long time. Now, I'm sure you're starting to realize that I'm running out of shit to talk about, so I'm going to say one last thing to wrap it up. The last thing I want to touch on is cable management, and mine isn't the greatest, but I know that cable management can affect the airflow in your case, and that's the only thing I really cared about. I didn't want it to restrict the airflow, so I did a half-ass job, but it's enough to get the job done. And that pretty much wraps everything up. Do me a favor and let me know what kind of PC you got, what you're working with, if you built it, if you bought it, if it's a Mac, if it's not, and until next time, bye-bye.